Hi, welcome back. This is Adventures with Dr. Joe. Today is Anatomy of the Grease Gun Part 2. I first did a video but took it all apart, but I never reassembled it. So today we're going to do everything we can. Label every part properly, take it apart, identify the parts that are internal, and reassemble it. This is a grease gun. This is a trigger or a pump type grease gun. There are also lever guns, and of course there are battery powered electric ones. So I'm wearing safety glasses. Anytime you're using a wire wheel, you got to be careful with that. So I'm just going to try to grind all the paint off of here, maintaining the threads. So you can see that worked pretty well. We're going to do it on the other side as well. Okay, it's done. And I'm not worried about this metal being exposed because it's going to be covered with grease. So you can see both ends of this. We've got these nice and clean here and here. So let's go back to the grease gun. I'm going to clean out any remnants of paint that are in here. And you can see there's some. We're also going to do the same with this. The grease gun has many parts, and we're going to review these, and they all serve an important function. Let's take a close-up look. Okay, let's take a look at all the parts. This is the barrel. This is the barrel handle. This is the ring that holds the pump handle closed. Makes it easier to store. This is the pump handle. This is the plunger that goes into the head, which is right here. Here's the tube, the fill tube, which can be flexible or solid. Sometimes these solid ones are very important if you've got a grease fitting way inside of something that you really need to put some pressure on this way. A solid fill tube is very helpful. These are couplers. They will connect to a grease fitting called a Zerk, Z-E-R-K, and hold on to it while it's pumping the grease in, and then you just pull it free. There are many types of these, some with locking levers, etc., which I actually prefer, but these are the standard type couplers. This is a pointed grease inserter, and there are some grease fittings that you need a point like this to push it into the fitting to place grease. This is the follower handle, and in here is the follower rod. This is the follower lock. This is the barrel cap. So let's take this apart and let's take a look at this. At the top of the head is the relief valve, because when you put a new cylinder of grease in here, there's air trapped, and you need to let that air out so that the grease can go into this opening where the plunger will push the grease forward. This is the fill port for large quantities of grease that come out of a barrel. Basically you put the connector in there, you pump it out of the barrel and fill it up that way. This is the one-way valve, and I'm going to take this apart and show you. So grease can go out with the push of the lever, but it can't come back in. So I don't know if you can see in there, but there's a ball and a spring, and that's basically placed right with this device. And here is the plunger. You can see the plunger going back and forth. And again, the ball in here allows grease to go out, prevents grease from coming back in. So I'm going to release the follower. I'm going to take this off. This is the most important part. This is the plunger. It's rubber. It's flexible. It fits inside of the grease cylinder, such as this. It fits right in here. Or if you're using basically a gross or a large, just a regular fill, it'll go inside the barrel. This is the spring, this is the follower, and many times these things are replaceable. Here's the washer. But this one is very inexpensive. It's just stamped, preventing it from coming out. But many times there's a cotter pin or other things here that allow you to change the plunger, because that's the part that fails. And I've got a link for 2 plungers in the video description. So let's put it back together. And again, the grip always goes down. Try not to strip the threads. We'll put the fill tube back on. And again, you can put some Teflon tape on here, some thread lock if you want. I usually just tighten it up, and it's a compression fitting that usually works pretty well. And then if we want to put, let's say we're out of grease, we pull the follower back, take this plastic cap off our grease tube, put the grease tube, hang on, let me pull this all the way back. Put the grease tube all the way in, and then remove this cap, screw it back onto the head, and you're good to go. Again, once the grease cylinder is replaced, screw this tight, then release the follower lock, and the follower goes back in, and then you release the air release valve. You'll hear it psh, come out, and you'll feel a difference. Nothing, and all of a sudden it's stiff, and then you're pumping grease. We're going to have the plunger in place. We're going to screw that back on. Be careful not to cross the threads, that's good. And then we're going to pull the follower back. And what that does, that brings that plunger all the way back here, so that the grease canister, that pulls the plunger all the way back here so that the grease cylinder can go in there no problem, and then goes into the head. When you want to store this little thing goes on here, makes it nice. And that, my friends, is the anatomy of a grease gun. So hey, if you found this useful, please click thumbs up, consider subscribing. Thank you.